traders, hello everyone and welcome to our new trading week. In this video I will be talking about the cryptocurrencies. It's been a while since I walk you through these markets. So as you know, Bitcoin has seen a move above 40,000 and it recently slowed down for a pullback. And we can see that again the interest in Bitcoin increased very aggressively actually in the last few weeks, so it's not really surprised that we have seen some nice pullback which may not be over yet. Okay, and always, as you know, if you know how to read the sentiment, always when something moves into extreme levels, we should be aware of the opposite reaction. Now if we look at some of stocks which have a very strong correlation with Bitcoin, then we can actually anticipate more upside after this pullback, because on this Nvidia and AMD stocks I can still see incomplete patterns. Now firstly, Nvidia, we can see that market is trying to make this impulsive rise away from this 2019 lows, and looks like that this slowdown right here is now wave 4, and ideally this wave 4 will be made by 3 waves. And if I go to the smaller time frame, you can see a very sharp reversal here from the highs while we are now just moving sideways. So it looks like this can be triangle in a wave B, meaning that more weakness here, okay, into wave C, final part of this corrective setback, could maybe also mean that Bitcoin can retest the lower prices. Now if we look at the AMD stock, also here I'm expecting this retracement, maybe even back to this previous fourth wave towards 73-74 area before this rise could resume. And this would obviously be, these pullbacks could be very healthy for Bitcoin as well, because you know that those markets are correlated, because AMD and Nvidia graphic cards are one of the best for mining cryptocurrencies. That's why we have very strong correlation here. So it looks like that we could see, based on these two stocks, if we'll see a pullback, this could also impact the Bitcoin price. Also, if we look at something else here, I'm looking at Bitcoin dominance versus other altcoins. And what I noticed here is that we recently reversed south for this corrective setback. Now, this can still be only a very deep, but still free wave movement, an ABC retracement. And whenever you're tracking wave C, keep in mind that wave C is a motive wave. Okay, even if it's final part of the contra trend movement, you still need 5 subwaves within this wave C. And if I look closely, this is the first leg, wave 1, you had a wave 2, expecting wave 4, and then a final drop for a wave 5, which could maybe even reach this extreme of the previous wave 2. So what is my point here is that I assume that Bitcoin may not so easily be in a great buy zone unless, or until I should say, we reach these lower support levels and complete this wave C with 5 subwaves. So that's not the case yet. Okay. Also, if we go further and look at Bitcoin volatility, okay, 24 hours actually, we can see that volatility obviously is slowing down now and could come back to these lower readings here. So I think that there can be a new opportunity on the upside based on the short-term trade setups, but after we reach these lower readings. So volatility should completely slow down before we can see a next breakout. And actually this goes perfectly with the Elliott wave structure on Bitcoin, because I think that this current correction from the highs is still incomplete. So we have more time for these prices and volatility to slow down. If you are looking for some longer term investments, well, maybe try to look at Bitcoin volatility of 7 days, where you can actually see here that we are at the high. So for longer term investments, I think that it's really important to realize that there will be much better opportunities when we have a longer period of very low volatility on Bitcoin. So in such case, you would be willing to see this volatility coming back towards these levels that we have seen in the past. Before this volatility actually picked up, Bitcoin prices were much lower. So this, for a longer term investment, this is what we should be looking for as well. Now let's take a look at some other wave counts on the cryptocurrencies. Now firstly, here is the Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin, as you know, is making a very strong move to the upside. We were looking either for a wave 3 or maybe even for a wave C of a flat formation, which is still valid but on a logarithmic scale. But for now we will just try to stick with this few because trend is very strong, and definitely I don't want to fight that, at least not yet. So looking at the substructures of this current wave 3, we could be maybe in wave 4 retracement of that higher degree wave 3, and even this wave 4, if it's corrective lag, it should be made by 3 waves, right? And you will see that the first drop here was very strong one and looks like it was an impulse. So here's this 4-hour chart. You can see a very strong reversal from the highs, and I can easily count 5 waves down here, while the current rise, at least the first rise here, was made by 3 waves. So it means that either this was end of a wave B, or maybe wave B will be more complex, maybe a triangle. But key point here is that I do not see any 5-wave rise from that low. Okay, so if there is no 5 waves up, then it means that this bullish cycle is not ready to continue just yet. I think that market will slow down a little bit longer here for wave B, and then ideally make a wave C to retest this wave 4 extreme, which in Elliott wave terms is the perfect swing level to complete the higher degree wave 3. Okay, so I still think that Bitcoin, of course, it's an uptrend. Just be aware that there can be another 20% drop, maybe even more, before we could stabilize. So let's see what happens in the next few days. I think that this will be a very important week for the Bitcoin, because if we'll see this wave B completion, then of course we can anticipate that wave C drop could be very sharp, maybe some very scary for some, especially because it can be very sharp and strong move, similar like we have seen here in the first drop. Okay, because wave C and wave A are usually very similar. Okay, now let's take a look also on Ethereum. Now Ethereum is also making a pullback, and I think this is a wave 4 pullback. Okay, now the first support was already been triggered here around 38.2%, but because we have seen only one leg from the highs, very strong one, I still think that this belongs to a higher degree structure into wave 4. Now wave 4 here could be maybe even a flat formation. Okay, if we suddenly see a retest of the highs, keep in mind that wave B can retrace all the way to 100% for a zigzag, or maybe if we pass this level and then turn to the downside, something like that, then of course this could be seen as a wave B that belongs to a flat formation, irregular formation. Okay, but what is important is that we have much slower recovery compared to the previous drop. So I have a lot of doubts that this is going to be something very aggressive to the upside, and that we will see, let's say, Ethereum rising straight from here towards 1700. I just assume that wave 4 will be more complex here, and that this correction is incomplete. So I think that it's better to wait a little bit more for this price structure to unfold before we may see a new opportunities here on the way up. Now, if we also look at Litecoin, I also assume that this one is in a correction as well. We have seen a very sharp reversal here after this very strong recovery. So this appears to be the first leg of this wave 4 that I've been talking about on Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. And if you look closely here, you can see that we are much weaker here compared to Bitcoin or Ethereum. We are far away from the highs. So this makes me think that yes, this is probably a wave B, which could be maybe even a triangle here if we slow down a little bit, or maybe even if we retest slightly higher prices, still I would probably not be changing the wave count here. I would be labeling this as a contra-trend movement against the previous 5-wave fall. So I will be looking for another drop here into wave C. So again, if this market is ready to rise, I think it's better wait on lower prices. Now, some altcoins can even drop 50% or more. Now, Bitcoin Cash also very similar. We have seen a 5 waves up here, and possibly even if just temporary top formation. The reason is the sharp drop, and this current price action is already overlapping, meaning it's not impulsive away from here, from January 11th lows. So I think that this rise is corrective. The 61.8% retracement has been retested here. Maybe it will be another retest if something more complex unfolds here within wave B, but still I think that this is a very important resistance zone, and I would not be surprised if we see a reversal lower this week into this wave C. Okay, so traders, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you are not our member yet, or if you are our member and want to join this yearly package, we have still 30% off for 12-month membership plus free Elliott Wave School educational videos. Now, if you are familiar with Elliott Waves but want maybe to see how I approach this theory, then you will actually receive these Elliott Wave School videos for free if you will take the 12-month membership. Okay, traders, thank you very much for your attention, and talk to you again next time. Bye.